It's almost Mother's Day, right? Do you not know what you're gonna make, but you really wanna make something special? I have a great idea. How about scones? They take like 10 minutes to put together, 16 minutes to bake, and then you have something special, delicious. The kids can make it for mom. I think it's a fantastic idea. Start. Measure your flour, 2 cups. Don't forget to scoop and level. That's the way that we measure our flour here for more exact measurements. Now you're whisking all of these ingredients together in a bowl. So 1/4 cup of sugar and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. General rule for leavener for biscuits and stuff, 1 teaspoon of baking powder for 1 cup of flour. It's kind of easy to remember. Sometimes it varies a little bit though, but you know, just a little tip. 1/2 teaspoon of fine salt. And then just whisk everything together. The liquid, 3/4 cup of heavy cream. I know, it's fattening, but it's so delicious and it's what makes scones so tender. But it's scones, it's not like you eat them every day, right? Don't eat them every day. Eat them like 4 times a year and then you don't have to worry about it. 1 egg, and then just whisk those together. Okay, so 6 tablespoons of cold butter. That's what makes them tender and flaky. Well, it's what makes them flaky. The tenderness comes from the cream. Cut it into little cubes. Cut the butter into the flour. You want to use a food processor, go right ahead. It's not really necessary though. You can use your fingers, which is what I do, or you can use a pastry blender, which is this old-fashioned tool. Let me show you. I don't like using these. I find them kind of awkward, but lots of people really like them. Finish cutting it in. The butter needs to be mostly cut in. It needs to look like coarse crumbs with some pieces sort of the size of small peas. Then you can add your currants, 2/3 cup. Stir that in a little bit and then whisk in your cream and egg mixture. But when I say whisk, I mean stir because I'm using a fork. Whisk will not work here. Don't listen to me. Don't overdo it. This is where you don't want to overmix it. It's gonna make kind of a damp-ish dough, so you may want to put a little bit of flour on your surface, and then your dough can go right out onto the surface. Don't overmix your dough, which you probably won't. But if you did, it might be a little bit tough. The whole thing about scones is that you don't want them tough. They have to be tender and delightful. Oh, by the way, I may not have mentioned this, but you can vary this however you want, and let me show you what our variations are. Blueberry almond with a little bit of vanilla, coconut chocolate, that's kind of indulgent, dried cherry hazelnut with a tiny bit of cinnamon, and then crystallized ginger and lemon. Super delicious. Pat your dough out about 6 inches round. I use my hand to measure. This is 8 inches, so 6 inches. I like to just flour my hands just a tiny bit because it's kind of sticky. And then use a bench scraper or a knife, whatever. This is a bench scraper. Do you have one of these? Super great tool to cut your dough into 6 wedges. So I like to cut it in half first and then cut each half into 3. Okay, now onto a parchment lined baking sheet. All right, so once your baking sheet is filled with your beautiful scones and you have a 400-degree oven, the last thing that you want to do is just brush the tops with a little bit of cream and sprinkle with some sugar. Brush them with cream or egg, whatevs, or nothing really, but this is the part that makes them nice and golden. And then I like to sprinkle them with sanding sugar because I have it and it's really cool and it makes it extra crunchy and shiny and sparkly. But if you don't have sanding sugar, use regular sugar. Okay, the only thing that's left to do is put these in the oven and bake them for about 16 to 18 minutes at 400 degrees. Rotate them halfway through so that they bake evenly. So just about the time that you're done cleaning up for making your scones will be ready. Voila, as I like to say. Look at those. Beautiful, they've puffed, they're a little bit golden. These look fantastic. They smell delicious. They're still warm though, you really should wait. I'm probably gonna burn my tongue. Really tender and delicious. Mom will love you if you make these for her, and then she can make them for you for the rest of your life. Make these for her once, please.